Hey everyone, welcome. Hope you're all doing well. So we're back here in Realm of Legends today. This time we're taking a look at Venom. And you're probably asking, why are we taking a look at Venom? Well, there's a few reasons, but the main reason is the fact that coming up very soon, there's going to be an event, and after completing and exploring that event, there's potential for me to add 2 more rank 4s to my roster. So I'm very excited about that. And what that has to do with Venom is the fact that I've gone through and made, a list by class of potential champs that I can take to rank 4. And again, I've talked about that in a separate video. But on that list, I'm taking a look at some of the lower ranking champs on that list. So for Cosmic, Venom is on my short list, but he's ranked lower. So I wanted to revisit him to see if I really would, take him to rank 4. I use him all over the contest. He lives in AQ. He and Scorpion. We only do map 5, so he lives in AQ, but I use him all over the contest, questing, BGs when I can. I don't do war, but he's definitely a valuable champ on my roster. In my opinion, he's just an all-timer. This guy's been around since 2015, and I feel that he's still very, very relevant. He looks awesome, even after his recent, update. You get used to it, real quick. But he looks awesome. His kit is simple. His play style is simple. I mean, you basically tap and swipe and good things happen. So he's just one of the best champs in the game, and he's been around since 2015. So that just blows my mind. So for example, I use him in BGs. He's even a good defender. I mean, he's not the hardest defender, but he can catch you off guard with how aggressive he is and his reach. And he doesn't have like a crazy, heavy centric AI like Mysterio or Chavez, but his heavy is so quick it can definitely catch you. And then getting back to his play style, he doesn't really necessarily have a rotation. I mean, you can consider this a rotation where you're fighting, you're proccing different, buffs. You get to an SP2, you use it, it converts those buffs into furies. So if you want to do it that way, you can very well do it that way, or you can just tap, swipe, and use specials as you get them. Of course, he applies bleed, and that's a big part of his kit. He has, multiple buffs. You can also, if you proc buffs that you don't want, mainly speaking about physical resistance and armor up, unless you're fighting against Havoc, of course, you do want that armor up as soon as possible. But anyway, you can just hit heavy, and your most recent buff has a chance to change to something else. It might not be what you want, but you can do it that way. And like I said, or you can just simply tap and swipe and good stuff happens. So he's a very good champ, still very relevant. And the reason I bring him into Realm of Legends is basically because I don't have anywhere else to test him. That is why I want to be part of the CCP so bad, is so I can actually test these champs against champs that I want to test them against the different health pools that I want, without having to go through hoops and trying to search for these champs to fight against. Realm of Legends is just the easiest place for me to do it. I mean, yes, I could go to Labyrinth of Legends, but basically you have Red Hulk and Star-Lord, and to a lesser extent maybe Old Man Logan and Elektra, for example. But I'm not going to want to spend like a ton of time going through a bunch of these fights, especially further down in the path, to get to these fights. And then, you know, I hope I don't mess up along the way, because I don't want to start over and I'm not using resources on this. So it's just not feasible to use Labyrinth of Legends. It goes the same thing with Abyss of Legends. It's just not feasible to do that. So you have Realm of Legends, and then to show off some utility, you have to go search for some nodes from some story paths. But Realm of Legends is the easiest place to do it. I do get a kick out of Realm of Legends. I know it's not the most exciting content to watch, but I hope that I do provide some value to you guys, because you guys are the only way that I'm going to be able to get into the CCP. So I'm trying to provide some value to you guys. Again, not the most exciting content, but I'm hoping to get to where I want to be, so maybe I can create that more exciting content. But anyway, let's focus on Realm of Legends. So there's less than a handful of key fights in Realm of Legends where I can show off what these champs can do, and show off some of the utility. And damage is a utility, so that's where Winter Soldier, who's the punching bag of the contest, I mean, they even make jokes in game, that's where you see, well, how hard can this champ hit, how fast can, you know, this champ take Winter Soldier down. And Venom, you know, does a good job. So that's, you know, Winter Soldier and Captain Marvel are your first two how hard does this champ hit, you know, fights. Then the first key fight is Juggernaut and his old kit with his Unstoppable. How does this champ deal with Unstoppable? So for Venom's sake, he can Omnom the buff. Other champs, you know, use atrophy and, you know, make the buff go, lose the buff faster. Other champs just ignore the Unstoppable with, you know, grit, for example. So how does the champ deal with Unstoppable? That's the first key fight. The second key fight is going to be Vision, and that's because he has the bleed and poison immunity. Of course, Venom, you know, applies bleed, so that's not going to work against Vision, so that fight is going to take a little bit longer. So you kind of see, you know, how the champ deals with champs that have the immunities. Then the third key fight, in a way, is Scarlet Witch, and that's because when you crit against her, you have a chance of being power drained. And of course, that's annoying because the majority of the damage actually comes from your specials. And so she's taking away your special attacks. Well, how do you deal with that? How fast does a champ, you know, deal with that if you're not getting specials? And then you have other champs you can test who don't crit. So that's a good way to test that utility. And then the last key fight is Wolverine and his regen. How does a champ deal with the regen? Can you out damage it? Again, do you affect it the way you affect the Unstoppable buff, where you're manipulating the duration? Do you reverse the regen? So again, that's another one of those key matchups, is how, and it's probably the biggest key matchup in Realm of Legends, and that's how do you deal with that regen. And so basically that's what I look at when I come into Realm of Legends, you know, how the champs fare against all those different options. So thanks for watching. I do appreciate, for those who stuck around to watch the whole thing, I appreciate it. If you did stick around to watch the whole thing, throw the word shred in the comments so I know you actually watched the whole thing, and I really appreciate that from you. So thank you guys so much for watching, and hope to see you for the next video. Have a good one.